Hi, Nikki Wyatt, Karma Coach here, wanting to talk to you today a bit about karmic essences, particularly the range of 10 from crystal herbs. Now, karmic essences are important because they go very deep into your cellular memory, unlike things like bark remedies. They will go back and deal with lessons that you're trying to learn, perhaps patterns you've had over many lifetimes that you're trying to understand and shift. They may also be in your ancestral line because we generally, at a soul level, choose the families we come into to learn the lessons we need to learn. So, uh, karmic essences will help with that level of deep imprinting that where you're caught on this kind of karmic wheel and you can't seem to get off. So you keep self-sabotaging, or you keep feeling grief and you don't quite know why. That this is a range that it's good to look at. So they work very quickly as well, I should say. The first one we are looking at is fuchsia. Fuchsia is really good if you are feeling kind of pent up, if you've got these feelings, but you don't know quite what they are. Uh, you could be aware of grief, anger, resentment, um, fear, all sorts of emotions, or you may simply know that you are carrying a lot of emotion, but you can't quite identify what it is. And I often find that when that's the case, I'll feel distracted, and I'll start putting my something strange in the fridge, or I'll suddenly find it difficult to park, or something like that, because I'm not fully focused. That it's a bit like having a child pulling at your skirt or pulling at your shirt or trying to get your attention. And your emotions, when your emotions are trying to do that, you can't really focus on what you otherwise might want to look at, especially if it's a heady intellectual thing you might be trying to work, and you just keep ending up watching random YouTube videos because actually there's something you need to deal with that's emotional. And if that's the case, I would take fuchsia, take 4 drops, and then wait 10, 15 minutes. If you can't notice a shift, then take another 4 drops. It really should be fairly quick in unblocking the feelings that are trying to express themselves. And it may be that you suddenly feel a need to cry, or a need to breathe deeply, or a need to uh, punch a cushion. But whatever it is, it will come up, and you'll finally get some clarity about what it is that's bothering you, and you'll feel much more connected to yourself. Because when we're in that not look trying to avoid our feeling state, then we're not in connection with our heart, and that's not a great place to be. So this will put you back in contact with your heart as well. The next one is geranium. Geranium essence is sometimes I think of it as the light bringer essence, a bit like turning a light on in a dark room when you take geranium, which is an indication of the kind of state you are in when you need it, which is sitting feeling pretty despondent, pretty gloomy, pretty discouraged. And again, it's a karmic essence. So this is going to be probably a bit of a soundtrack to your life, that there'll be this undercurrent of very easily being caught up in, oh, it's not going to work out, and I feel really negative about the future, or I don't think that I have much faith or trust in the universe to support me. So if those are feelings that are very familiar to you, then reach for geranium and know that geranium will turn that light on and help you to feel much more connected to your spirit and your true self as well. This is all about helping you to connect to who you really are. Geranium will do that for you, and once you do that, you'll have gone beyond the personality patterns. So you'll be able to see what it is that is holding you back and making you feel so despondent. The next one is lily. Now, lily, certainly in England, you will often see a lily at a funeral, for example, and that is not a coincidence. It's about bringing peace and serenity and comfort to the spirit. And, often when you're at a funeral, that's exactly what you need. Um, you'll feel much more spiritually secure when you take lily essence. So if you're feeling a bit wobbly, a bit unsure of any sense of a spiritual connection, then this is a great essence to take. It will give you faith, and it will give you a connection to your soul wisdom, to your inner wisdom, that will help you to feel more confident about making decisions and taking actions. And Lily will also help you to integrate your spirit with everyday life. So you're not just kind of, here I am meditating and feeling quite spiritual, and now I've got to go to the supermarket and that's a different me. It will help you to integrate those feelings so that you can take that sense of security, a spiritual security, with you into everyday life. Now, the next one is called Pink Rose, and that is the karmic fear essence. And it's a really important one. If you do keep a few essences as a sort of emotional first aid kit, like I do, then Pink Rose would definitely be one I would have in that kit, because karmic fear is something that all of us feel. We've never gone through a lifetime without feeling fear. It's fantastic for phobias and uh, any kind of long-term feeling of being scared and being, and fear underlies so many other emotions. It's the most primary emotion that we feel. So it's usually underpinning things like anger and grief and guilt and other things. They usually, if you dig into those feelings, they're usually about fear of abandonment or fear of rejection or fear of um, being alone. So fear, a karmic fear essence will usually be a really good one to take if you're suffering with almost any deep emotion, but particularly if you know that it is a fear of something, especially if it's one if it's a feeling you've had since you were born. It's kind of been with you all your life. This constant sense of anxiety. It's again rather like the first one I mentioned. It's a great one to take 4 drops of and then wait and then see, and rather like the emotional weather, then that should move through you. And if it doesn't within 10 or 15 minutes, take another 4 drops, and that really should shift it, and bring you back to hopefully a much more calm, a much calmer state. It will also help you to see the lesson in the fear and help you to overcome it. So it's not constantly like haunting you through your life. And the fifth and last one I want to talk about and is Valerian. And Valerian is from the group of lack of interest in current circumstances, it's called. It's one of the Bach groups. And the way that we tend to take ourselves out of our current circumstances is usually by checking out emotionally, physically, in whatever way we can, or keeping ourselves while extremely busy, either mentally or physically. So the remedies that you might take in the Bach remedy system for some of those patterns would be things like wild rose for lethargy, clematis or clematis for disassociation, when you're often bumping into things and not remembering where you left the car, and you're just not very here, and you're probably not very much in your body. Or white chestnut, where you've got a very busy mind and you just can't turn off the washing machine of thoughts. If you're dipping into those kind of remedies quite a lot, then I would look at valerian, because it is an overarching essence that will pull up by the roots a lot of those other patterns I've just mentioned. It treats a really deep disconnection you might have with your body and being in your body and being here. So if you feel numb, if you feel spaced out, if you feel something that you can't quite put into words about, but you could maybe sum it up with, I just want to go home. It's all a bit too hard here. I just want to go home. You might not know where home is, but if you have that feeling, then valerian will help to stop you from going down that road and bring you back to the present and help you to have the courage to just be here fully. You may you may find also, if you need valerian, that there are compulsions that you're busy with, that you may live in the past, and consider the past was happier than now, or you might get caught up in daydreams about how it'll all be so much better when, in some time point in the future, it's all going to be better than now. And you might just have tremendously busy thoughts because anything better than just sitting with now. But valerian really is a fantastic essence for helping you to engage. And once you engage in life, it gets so much more interesting and you bring so much more energy back into your body. So it's quite an energizing essence and very good if you are using any kind of habitual behavior to self-soothe. For example, it's a great one if you if you have alcoholism in your family, for example, that's always an indicator of somebody just trying to not be here. And likewise, recreational drugs or endless online shopping or reading excessively, anything that we do a lot of, reaching for the, biscuits, anything that is all about, I just want to numb out. I just don't want to feel these feelings. Valerian will hold you safely and let you be in your body, encourage you to be here, and encourage you to bring 100% of you present to your life. And then all sorts of wonderful new things can happen. So that's the end of the first half of the range. That's the first 5. My next video will be about the second 5, but I hope you enjoyed this one and I will see you soon at the next one. Thank you for being here and I hope you enjoyed it.